Hello, Scorpio. Thank you for tuning in to your general read. I think the sun is really bright. It must have came up from behind that cloud. Sorry about that. For the main part of the read, I'm going to use the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquis, illustrated by Scott Murphy. For the supportive oracle cards, I'm going to use the Angel Answers Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. I already shuffled the cards. Let's go ahead and get them out here. Interesting layout we have. Here we go with the bottom cards. Okay. Stop. So what does that mean? Why are they coming from the bottom, I wonder? So this stuff, this may be a little bit removed from you. Like, is this environmental maybe? Alright, so they're coming from the bottom, and I'm feeling like there's a significant reason for that. Like, this is an underlying current that's causing... That's kind of, do I want to use the word? Yeah, okay, they're saying it's manipulating the situation, this underlying current, but it's environmental. It's not like anybody's doing anything, it's just the current you're working in. Okay, as we get going, hopefully this makes better sense. It should. And I feel like we're going to go start with that. Okay. Now, the current that we're dealing with, this isn't a person is what I'm getting. It's like, it's either like political, it's business, it's like some of you might be a school system, but it's like whatever's going on, it's like nobody's considering you and your situation. Your situation has nothing to do with the current that's happening, but your situation is kind of a result of this current happening. And what I get here is they get yes with the helpful people. The yes is a passive yes, which means people are just kind of going along with what other people want, just trying to get along, just trying to be agreeable. And helpful people, like I feel like this is like some type of community effort just to get through things, just to do what's expected. So it's doing what's expected, getting along, just going through things. I don't feel like anybody really wants to rock the boat. It might be like something that happens normally at this time of year, or this is something that comes around at this point of whatever's going on. This is a normal part of this situation. I feel like you could recognize this if this hits, hopefully. Like, this is a normal current. People are just getting along, just going along passively. Everybody's getting along, just doing what's expected. There's like something going on. Like, that's kind of why I'm feeling this is like a school thing, almost like if there's sports or something like that related here, like people are doing what they normally would, they're agreeing, nobody's making any type of waves, just as like, this is how we do this, that's fine. Same with business or whatever, like even if this is a family thing, and if there's some type of event coming forward, like a reunion or an anniversary, reunion seems like it makes more sense. It's just going along with the majority. Nobody's really like voicing their opinion. If they have contrary opinions, they're just kind of going along with it. That being said, the same current is also coming to the situation will improve, but what's hidden behind it is let go. Which makes me feel like, okay, so this is still going to happen. They're telling me it's going to happen. Because at first I thought, does that mean like everybody got along and then they just dropped it? Like, but they're saying, no, that's not what's going on here. Everybody seems to be working together in the same direction. They're all doing the same as they normally would. I feel like things are going to come together better than expected. And that I feel like a lot of people are just they're not too worried about it. Like if it falls left or right, like if it didn't, I don't know. I feel like they're not concerned about the semantics. Like it might be like a short situation in the sense of like you're gonna gather on a certain day, or maybe it's like the situation isn't gonna last long enough to where if it's unpleasing to do it, it'll be over before it began type feel. Okay, so this is the current that we're talking about, which I feel this is a weird way to start this reading, but this seems to be defining the situation you're involved with. Okay, so this is going on. This is going on around you. This is affecting you, but this situation is not affected by you. Like what you make, the choices you make, whether you're involved or not, do not change the current of the situation. And even if you try to get in there and try to change things, I feel like the current is already defined and it's still going the way it's already set up to go. All right, so Scorpio, as you go in, you have the Eight of Swords with the Strength card. You're feeling kind of like locked into this situation. I feel like for a lot of you, this is some type of event. And you're feeling locked into it. You're not really sure if you want to be a part of it, but you're feeling locked into it. I don't know if it's like... I feel like it's just because you're locked into it, it's just uncomfortable. Whether you want to be or not, it's not... You don't really feel like you have a choice. You feel obligated. There's like an obligation to this current we're dealing with. And the strength there is telling me that you're shouldering through. You're just shouldering through, you're getting through it, you're just holding yourself together, you're doing what you need to do. I don't feel like you want to rock the boat either. But one of the reasons you might have that feeling is because you're just seeing the majority, and you're kind of feeling like even if I wasn't standing on my own, it wouldn't make a difference. But it may, and if you did stand, you have this feeling like, you know what, I might be on my own on that anyway. So why bother to alienate people when it's not going to change anything? And I'm pretty much going to be standing on my own. If I'm lucky, I'll have 2 or 3 friends pop up with me, but we're still just going to be looked at like we're crazy, or just it's not going to work out well. So I'm just shouldering through. Scorpio is just shouldering through, holding it together. I feel like it's the fact that it doesn't feel like you have that much of a choice, or you don't feel like you have much of a choice. You're feeling if you walked away from this, that would be worse. That would just be a bad idea. So you're just kind of shouldering through, getting through it. I feel like you physically could walk away from it, but you're kind of looking at that like, that would be a real bad idea. That would really just bite me now. It would bite me later or whatever. It would get me. Sooner or later it would come back negatively. So you're like, that's not really an option. It's just like a really bad option. So you're shouldering through. Okay, good. Now this keeps going. This situation for you feels like it goes on for a while. I don't really feel like it's a long period of time. Like if you look at it on a calendar, maybe 2.5, 3 months. But for you, you're just kind of like, it's dragging on because you feel stuck. You feel forced into it, I feel like it makes you reluctant to want to do it because you feel like you have no choice. So it's like every step is a trudging through mud step. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it because you don't feel like you have a choice though. I feel like it's a lot of perception. And they're telling me, isn't everything perception? Okay, that's fine. So, but they're saying that's where we need to go with this. Okay, that was funny. It's like, isn't everything perception? I guess everything is. But they're saying that this is purposeful though. This works out in your favor. Like this feeling of like kind of trudging through, it creates change later. Like this is kind of like the winding up of the spring. Like this is getting you to do something different. Okay. Now, are you letting go? You might be letting go from this. Because this gets complicated here at the end. So let's see. I do see the Chariot. Now this is the only card you have at the top here, but I'm seeing that it kind of fits here more than anywhere else. Like you're like, I'm done. I'm getting that, like I have other things I have to do. I feel like very creatively you might find a way to get out of having to deal with this situation. Very creatively. I don't feel bad about it. I don't think you should feel bad about it. But I feel like you kind of feel like you kind of skirted around something because other people would like to get out too, but they're just not able to do it. You were able to do it, and you're just going forward with that. You found a way to kind of get yourself out. There's other obligations or something else you were able to use, and you got out of it for a little while. No, they're telling me you got out of it. You let go. And I feel like the other side, whatever you're dealing with, this current, is very accepting of that. You then have the Ace of Swords here. Alright, this current still affects you. While you're not involved like you were, that okay, it's still affecting you. You got out of having to deal with it directly. Still affects you though. The Ace of Swords, I'm getting like this is some fiery communication. Swords are a lot of time air for me. A lot of times they really are. And that fire just makes me feel like there's like aggressive communication going on. You're hearing what's going on. And even though you stepped out of having to deal with it directly, having to be a direct part of it, you're still having some interact. You still know what's going on. This current is still affecting you. They're like, yes, definitely still affecting you. Okay, so you stepped out of having to deal with it in the sense that was really holding you down, that you didn't want to be a part of it. You found a way out. You found an acceptable way out. Phew, those are fun, aren't they? But you're still hearing about it, and there's some aggressive communication coming your way. There's frustration. Is it against you? No. Is it with this? But it's with the situation itself. People are frustrated with it. I feel like you might have connections to people in it, or however that works. Like I said, this current is still affecting you. So you're hearing about all these frustrations, and I feel like this is bringing you forward into this next section. My question is, even though you're not involved the same way, you've kind of found a way to step out, you have some connection here anyway. Like you can't completely get away from it, but as much as you can just detach yourself from it, you have successfully done that. So they're reiterating that, but you're still affected. And this is bringing you, this communication, this fiery communication is bringing you forward to the end here. And we got 5 cards. Now, I do get with the center card, which is odd that it's as strong as it is because it's a minor arcana. So, it's the 6 of Swords. But I feel like this is one of the stronger cards here because your viewpoint is kind of like you're being as detached as possible from it. You can't be completely, but you're being as detached as possible. And you got the King of Swords coming in direct line with this situation. It's this current, whatever's going on with this current, somebody's bringing, like, they're giving direction about what's happening next. You've got the King of Pentacles on your side. You're staying exactly where you were. It's not changing where you're going, where you thought you were going. It's not, the King of Swords isn't changing your standing because you're also a king in this situation. So the king is just bringing in that the information saying what's coming next for this situation, if that makes sense. But the information's coming in, and you're like, I feel like you're detached from it, and you're moving on, and you're feeling pretty good about that. You're still staying where you were, though. I get that King of Pentacles, like you're not moving, you're not being moved, you're not being pushed left or right. The environment, though, 2 of Wands, things have to be sorted out. Okay, hold on. This is coming in this way. The King of Swords with the 6 of Swords with the 2 of Wands. I feel like there's other obligations. Other people, whoever's still involved, like, I feel like you were able to step out and you're still out. Yeah? Yeah. People who are still in that position, though, that weren't able to step out, I feel like it's getting a little bit more demanding. Is that what I want to use? I think it is getting more demanding. There's more things, like the King of Swords comes in and there's some extra things that are going to happen this time around. And there's only so many people and there's X amount more to be done. So that X is being distributed through the people who are left. And I say the people who are left because I do feel like you stepped out of this. I don't feel like you're one of those people. But you're seeing this happen. Now, I feel like there's like a catch-22 here going in. Because I'm noticing the Hierophant happens right after this. The 6 of Swords, I feel like that's talking about how you're viewing it. Because you're not a part of it directly, but you're seeing the stress here. And you're trying to detach yourself from it, but you are seeing other people go through it. the Hierophant makes me feel like it's catch-22 because you would like to get involved and help everybody else, but you don't want to get cemented back in like everybody else. And the catch-22 is if you start helping or you say you freed up some time to do that, you're gonna get sucked right in, just sucked right in, and it's just kind of like you're either in or you're out. There's no halfway in this. So because of that, and you don't really want to be a part of this, and you're seeing the stress that's there, you're staying out. But I feel like there's kind of like a guilt feeling here, like I have some people I really care about. I'd really like to help them. I just don't want to be knee deep in it like everybody else. I'd like to help without being locked into it. And there's no halfway. It's either you're in or you're out. And if you're in it for the whole thing. You're there with everybody else struggling through. Or if you're out, you're completely out. And you found a way out. You got out before this change happened, or this part happened, I should say. And I feel like you want to stay out. But it's hard because you're kind of feeling, I feel like there's a little bit of a guilt feeling because you kind of want to help. There's people you care about, you'd really like to help, but you're realizing like if you take one step in there, you're right in there, you're just stuck. And you're going to have to go wading through the muck with everybody else. Okay. I feel like this whole thing is just like, I don't know, I don't feel bad about it. In any sense. Like, I feel like you're finding a way out of it. You may not be the only person who wants to get out of it, but you find a way to successfully do that. But they're saying that you need to stay out. Once you're out, you need to stay out because if you get sucked back in, like, you're stuck into the end. So if you get out, which it looks like you're gonna, if this reading's hitting for you, I feel like there's kind of a warning here. If you're out, stay out. Unless you truly want to get back in, but once you get back in, you're just going to have to hold on to the end. There's no getting out again. Okay. I feel like that's the whole thing for this reading. And again, I feel like this is the current of the situation. And it's definitely affecting you, and this current goes on. It doesn't matter what you say or want to do. The current exists with or without you. I feel like that's what's happening here. So whatever's going on here, that's existing on its own. I really don't feel it's bad that you've pulled yourself out, and I feel like other people would do the same thing if they could do so, but it's just you found a way to get out, so you took it. I feel the advice here is keep it. I feel like that's the advice. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you for watching. Of course, if you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you.